multiplayer game, you need UDP for the game state, but you still need TCP to do the handshake, because if you don't want your UDP to get DDoSed, you need some sort of key and identification. And if you're doing peer-to-peer, you would probably still need to do a hole punch through using some sort of TCP system to do the hole punch through before you do the hole punch through. So you would set up maybe even curl lib, which is practically all TCP with SSL. It would need to be compiled, and then you would access some server, get some authentication token, send it back, send it to the server, and you'd probably be using something like a Google Cloud Compute for the server, or the AWS, and then you would connect TCP first, and then UDP as the game starts. You would handle chat usually with TCP anyway, just because it's simpler and more reliable. And a few other things like statistics, leaderboards, achievements, all the stuff you don't really need UDP for, and you want it to be reliable, like transactions, like all your whole store, inventory, leveling, and while UDP is more of for all that player movement, reflex reactions, input being drawn into the game as soon as it gets drawn into the game, depending on if you want to collect the input just like Quake does, or you want it to be more, some people call it modern, and just it collects the state. And there's a lot of interesting things, like there's matchmaking after that, so that's mostly UDP and Kubernetes type setup, where you have a bunch of computers and it's allocating the computers. I don't know, Open Match from Google has a way of doing it. Some people like to make their own because it's a lot simpler and smaller. Pretty sure you can't run most servers on Raspberry Pi unless they're just relays. There's a relay server system you could use. So that's more two advanced topics, is matchmaking and relay servers. Whereas the classical server is somewhere probably on a dedicated server versus your basement that's being relayed from a Raspberry Pi in the cloud or something like that.